Hello everyone, welcome to Turn Off-Road. I'm Chuck and we're here today with a Jeep JL to install some rock sliders. The first thing we want to do is kind of go over with you what you're going to get in your kit and the tools you're going to need to get these installed. So without further ado, here's what you get in the kit. You're going to get your driver's side rock slider and your passenger side rock slider. Easy way to tell which one goes on which side is that your narrower brackets will be to the rear of the vehicle. As you can see here, we have them set up for the side that they're going to go on. So again, if you want to know which one goes to which side, just put the closer brackets to the rear and you can't go wrong. As far as installation hardware, we're going to provide everything you need, including a drill and a tap to install some of the bolts in the side of the frame. These are the bolts that you're going to drill and tap to go in through the side of your brackets onto the frame. We do include a center punch, the drill, and the tap. If you do have a tap wrench, that's great. If you don't, you can use a 9/32 socket on a ratchet or other device, and that will fit onto your tap and help you get that tap in there. And when the time comes, I'll show you guys how to use that. So as far as other hardware goes, on the driver's side, there are a couple extra fasteners provided. You won't need any on the passenger side other than the side frame bolts. But we do have for the rear, this will go into a threaded boss on the bottom of your frame that will attach your rear bracket. For the front bracket, we have a flag nut and a bolt and some washers to connect through an existing hole in the front of your frame. So as far as tools go, it's relatively simple. We have a 17 and 18 millimeter. The 17 millimeter will go here, your 18 millimeters here. You also will use that 18 millimeter to remove your factory bolts from the cross members to install the sliders. If you do have the factory slide rails installed, you will need a 13 millimeter and a 10 millimeter to get those off, and whatever power tools you may have or hand tools to get the job done. So with that, we're going to get over the vehicle. We're going to pull off those factory sliders and get ready to install the turn off-road sliders. Okay, so over here underneath the Jeep, we need to remove these factory side rails. You'll find that there are two 10 millimeters up against the pinch weld here, and then one 13 millimeter that goes up. And there's three places that we need to remove those, so we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so we went ahead and removed the other factory rail from the other side of the vehicle here, and we're going to prepare our Jeep for the installation of the turn off-road rock sliders. To do that, we're going to need to loosen the fasteners holding these two cross members to the vehicle on both sides. And also on this side, you'll have a skid plate for your fuel tank. There are a couple of nuts here that are holding it up on there. You might need to take those off so you can get enough droop out of it to slide the rock slider underneath on this side. In the rear here, there is a threaded boss that we're going to be using one of the provided bolts for. And then on this side, we will be removing one of the bolts retaining our skid plate for the fuel tank, and you're probably going to have to slightly loosen the other ones so you can drop it down low enough to put the rock slider underneath it. So I'm going to go ahead and get those out and get ready to install the new turn off-road rock sliders. Okay. All right, so we've gone ahead and temporarily installed our rock slider on the driver's side here, and we just put it between these cross members and went ahead and tightened it down and then put the extra bolt in the back here. The reason we're doing that is because on this side here, we have a few holes we need to mark and then drill out and tap. In the front here, you want to make sure that you line up the one hole that you have in the factory frame, and then once that's lined up, go ahead and mark and drill and tap all of your other holes so that you can get these things installed. I'm going to do that. I'm going to line this up. I'm going to mark those holes. I'm going to tap them out, and then we'll get back to installing this. So with my front hole lined up with the factory frame hole, I can go through and mark the remaining 5 positions to be drilled and tapped. So once I have those marked, I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, drill and tap those, and we'll get it finally installed. So we have our frame marked for the 5 locations on the driver's side that we need to drill. As you can see, we have our ink marks there. So I'm going to take the center punch that we provide, give a nice little punch right in the middle of each one of these. Okay, from there I can go ahead and start drilling. So just a couple of tips when you're drilling. A lot of people don't put enough pressure on the drill bit so that it's constantly cutting, and the drill bit will spin on the surface. What that does is it generates a lot of heat in your metal, which will basically heat treat the metal, making it harder. Once you've done that, it's going to get extremely difficult to drill through and tap through. So make sure when you're drilling these, you get in there with a firm pressure and just hold that firm pressure, and you should see chips flying the entire time. If you're drilling and there's no metal coming off in little chips, you're not pressing hard enough and you're probably going to overheat the metal. So for my first hole, I've got a small point made with the center punch, but I might still drift a little bit because it's not very deep. So I'm going to take my drill right there and just hold it in that position where it sits right in the middle of that dot. I'm going to push very firmly, and I'm just going to tap my trigger so it gives me a little bowl to sit in. If I sit there and spin it and I'm off just a little bit, the drill bit may drift, and I don't want that. So I can see that bowl is right in the center of that marked hole, so I can go ahead and drill through. If I'm off a little bit, I can angle my drill to drift it back to the center. But ultimately what we want to do is drill right in the center of that marked spot. So with that, I'm going to press firmly, and I should see chips falling the entire time. Okay, and there we go. Nice clean hole. I just kept firm pressure. If you get tired, just take a break for a moment and come back and try it again. Don't let the drill bit sit there and spin on the surface without generating chips. It will make your job a lot harder. All right, my second hole is drilled. Both of them drill very nicely. They're straight and perpendicular to the surface, which is going to make it a lot easier for me to tap this hole. All right, since most of you don't have T-handles or tap handles at home, I'm going to go ahead and use the ratchet method. Again, it's a 9/32 socket. Should fit on the end of your ratchet, or I'm sorry, the end of your tap just fine. If you do have a tap wrench, by all means, go ahead and use that. So for tapping, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to try and get my tap as perpendicular to the surface as I can. And I'm just going to make a quarter turn. Then I'm going to check. So I can see that my tap is pointing down just a little bit. And I don't want that. I want to go straight in. So I'm going to do another quarter turn. But as I'm making that quarter turn, I'm going to kind of go up and into a flat position. So I'm going to pull up as I twist another quarter turn. Now see, as I look down this tap, it looks like it's parallel this direction, perpendicular this direction and this direction to this surface. I'm going to go ahead and start driving that tap in. If it feels like it's leaning to one side, check again. Okay, my tap feels like it started well. So again, I'm just going to kind of check it. Everything looks like it's going fairly straight. Okay, I can feel that the tap is just spinning freely now. It's no longer cutting, and I'm about halfway through the threads on it. At this point, I'm just going to back it back out and move up to the upper hole and get that one tapped. Same process. I'm just going to start it with quarter turns until it's going straight. All right, looks like I'm going straight. All right, still straight. I'm going to go and take it all the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the last 3 holes on this side and get this slider installed. All right, so we're back here on the passenger side. We went ahead and installed the rock slider over here. The only real differences we have is we do use the skid plate bolt for the rear bolt and not the extra bolt that we supply. And then in the front here, you have 2 tapped holes and no flag nut. Otherwise, the installation is the same as on the driver's side. If you did remove these 2 nuts here, where are we? Right here. To lower this down, don't forget to put those back in. Again, hope you enjoy the product. If you have any questions at all about this or any other product we have, just reach out to us and let us know, and we'll try to answer your questions as best we can, and we hope to see you out there.